Hello all, and welcome to this. And this is a video I planned on doing today, but I'm going to add a little something to it at the beginning. For those of you not aware, TheBlackcatfeline, Kristen and Dee, they got their account hacked today. Thought we were over all this hacking bullshit, but I guess not. Anyways, description box has their channel. If you like their videos, go subscribe to their new channel. If you want my opinions on what I think of hackers, you can another link in the box. First video on this account kind of gives you my view on what I think of hackers. But yeah. But that all said and done, there we go. Let's actually talk about what I wanted to talk about. I came on here in 2007, and one of the reasons why I came on here in 2007 was to buy ROH at the time, but not just ROH, but other indies and other wrestling in general, and try to just explain to people how I felt there was, other wrestling out there besides TNA and WWE at the time. And, I've talked ad nauseum of what I think of WWE and what I think is wrong with WWE and what I think they need to do to change it. And they haven't done it, and they keep not doing it. And so, I don't really talk about it anymore. Same problems that were around in 2007 are still around today. And that's kind of sad, to be completely honest. TNA, I've said, bye, see you later, because, it's apparent to me they're not changing anything ever, so I just don't care anymore. And yet, there are still people who have been on here time and time again, who still come on here and bitch about WWE, bitch about TNA, still watch both shows, still watch everything, or not just shows, but watch both organizations, watch everything, and bitch, and bitch, and bitch, and bitch. And then when you bring up the fact of, why don't you watch something else? And I'm sure we're going to see this in the next upcoming weeks, as myself, as others, hype the Chikara pay-per-view that's coming up on the 13th. And that people are going to be like, oh my god, now, we hear so much about Ring of Honor, we hear so much about Dragon Gate USA, now we're going to have to hear all this stuff about Chikara. As well. Yeah, you are. Sorry. I started this channel, one of the reasons I started it was to try to, get people to understand there was more wrestling out there. And then if you didn't like what WWE was giving you, if you didn't like what TNA was giving you, there were alternatives. Yes, maybe they weren't as easy to find. Maybe you couldn't just turn on your TV, though, they're not on free TV, even though people like saying that, oh, TNA and WWE, they're on free TV. No, they're not. They're on cable TV. You still have to pay for it. Only 3 organizations I can think of that are on free TV in the United States would be AAA and CMLL whenever they are on Television, and Ring of Honor if you're lucky enough to have it in your area. That's it. TNA, WWE, not really. They're on cable TV. They're not on free TV, but I know still most people get to see it. Most people still have those channels, so it is more readily available. So I do understand that. But I can remember back, because as bad as everyone thinks wrestling is today, as bad as people thought it was in 2007, it's not 2003 to 2005. It's not those years. It's not those horrible, horrible, horrible years from 2003 to 2005, which were horrible. Think about how horrible those years must have been for the fact that the internet was fairly young, the fact that people went on the internet, the fact that people who didn't even have access to the internet still gave money to Rob Feinstein, made Rob Feinstein a very rich man so they could watch ECW, so they could get tapes of ECW, so that they could, if they didn't have access to the TV show, which was on in bigger markets than Ring of Honor is on, but was actually on in less markets than Ring of Honor is on. So, yeah. So, when people come on here and bitch about the fact that wrestling sucks, and that there's no hope, and there's this, and that, my point, and I always make this point, there's more wrestling out there. There's more wrestling out there. It's easy to find if you're willing to find it. You just have to go and find it. And it's easy to find. You don't like WWE? Go watch New Japan. Go watch Dragon Gate, not Dragon Gate USA, Dragon Gate proper from Japan. Go watch, Chikara. Go watch PWG. Go watch Ring of Honor. Go find something. Go find an indie that maybe only you like. But if you like it, go support it. Give them money. Actually go out and do something. If you truly love pro wrestling, then pro wrestling is more than WWE. Pro wrestling is more than TNA. There's definitely something out there that you would like. You might have to find it. You might have to go look for it. You might actually have to, not be lazy. But if that's the case, then that's the case. And maybe it is the fact that I grew up in that time period where we had to go look for stuff. The fact that I had no idea what tape trading was. I was 21 before I even had a concept of what tape trading was. And once it did, good Lord, I bought up stuff like it was crazy, especially stuff from Japan, and ECW, old Memphis tapes, in particular. I grabbed that stuff, the old WCW or Crockett stuff that I'd always wanted to see and always heard about, but never was able to see. All of that stuff. I just stopped all that stuff up. And, even if that's what you want to go watch, if you want to go back and you want to watch old, Memphis stuff, if you want to go watch old World Class stuff, you want to watch old Crockett stuff, you want to watch old WWE stuff, go do that instead of coming on here and just bitching constantly over and over and over again about WWE or TNA and then not giving anything else a chance. I've never understood that. I wish someone could come on here and explain this to me. Why you're willing to bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and say how bad it is, but then when you have a chance to actually support something, maybe and actually go out and try to find out if you like something, you're not willing to do it. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will understand it, but just wanted to come on here, talk about that. Anyways, with that, I'm out. Have a good one. Later.